As a part of President Donald Trump's broader initiative to reduce the size of the federal workforce, led by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, an offer was made on January 28, 2025 to federal employees that if federal employees chose to resign by February 6, 2025, they would enter into a deferred resignation status, receive their full salary and benefits until September 30th, 2025, without the obligation to perform work duties during this period, and B, exempt from in-person work requirements until the end of their deferred resignation period, or if they choose to resign earlier. Enter, receive, B. These are the terms of program, quote, fork in the road, a euphemism that echoes a similar email to leeches, employees from Elon Musk when he took over Twitter. The buyout offer applies to all full-time federal employees except military personnel, U.S. Postal Service workers, and those in positions related to immigration enforcement and national security. No quitting for combat, enforcement, security, or delivering snail mail while higher than a Chinese weather balloon. Allegedly, which is honestly not that high. Sort of an operational high. Not too baked to get the job done, but baked enough to forget the igneous slow burn that is the uniquely human pain of wage slavery. Sisyphus and Greg the mailman, same hill, same stone. Initially, about 20,000 federal employees accepted the offer, which was around 1% of the total federal workforce. By February 10th, 2025, that number had risen to over 65,000 employees, or approximately 3% of the federal civilian workforce. Holy shit! I've been paying taxes so a lot of people can do nothing whatsoever. You know the part that comes next. Legal challenges immediately arose regarding the legality of program Fork in the Road, including lack of congressional authorization. Critics argue that the buyout program requires congressional approval. Yes, those critics are in Congress, especially since Fork in the Road promises payments beyond the current fiscal year's appropriations, which end on March 14th. The buyout offer extends payments until September 30th, raising concerns about the legality without explicit budgetary provisions. Violations of the Administrative Procedure Act, or APA. Federal unions and legal experts contend that the Office of Personnel Management, or OPM, failed to follow proper procedures under the APA. This includes not providing a legal basis for the buyout offer or allowing for public comment before implementation. Yes, those legal experts work for unions. Arbitrary and unlawful nature of the offer. The American Federation of Government Employees, or AFAG, and other unions filed lawsuits arguing that the offer is arbitrary and potentially unlawful. They claim it could lead to significant disruptions in government operations by encouraging mass resignations without clear legal backing or guarantees of payment. They make no claims as to the disruption in government operations being kind of the fucking point. Contractual concerns. The resignation contract stipulates that employees who accept the buyout, quote, forever waive their right to take legal action against the government for this matter. This has raised questions about the enforceability of such waivers and whether they could be considered coercive or misleading, especially if the promised payments are not fulfilled. Or put more simply, the people who stole your money are demanding a guarantee of more of your money before they quit stealing your money. Privacy and security concerns. There are allegations that the administration, through Musk's oversight, sought access to sensitive personnel and payment records, which could violate privacy laws and security protocols. This argument is particularly hilarious because literally right now, a corrupt FBI agent is violating my privacy and security, though I do have a certain hidden folder I shepherd them into whenever I catch them creeping around my DOS prompts. And while I can't tell you what's in that bait, I can tell you that they linger for hours, from which you can infer that it's gay. To wit, a federal judge named George O'Toole has temporarily blocked the implementation of the buyout deadline initially set for February 6th, extending it to at least February 10th, and then further due to ongoing legal proceedings. This was in response to lawsuits by federal workers unions seeking to halt the program until its legality is clarified. They want to keep getting paid while negotiating getting paid to quit getting paid. There's contention over whether the administration can legally guarantee severance or benefits for those who resign, especially given the potential for mass layoffs if the buyout does not achieve its intended reduction in workforce size. The judicial actions delaying the lawsuit are currently extended until a further ruling by Judge O'Toole. As of the last update on February 10th, the temporary restraining order blocking the implementation of the buyout offer was set to continue until Judge O'Toole makes a decision on a preliminary injunction. No specific date has been set for this decision, indicating that the pause on the buyout will remain in place until further notice from the court. O'Toole implemented the initial temporary restraining order, or TRO, for the following reasons. 1. Urgency and irreparable harm. The plaintiffs argued that without immediate judicial intervention, federal workers would face irreparable harm. Accepting the buyout under potentially unlawful terms could affect their employment, benefits, and future job prospects, especially if the buyout's legality was later questioned or if the promised payments were not honored due to legal or budgetary constraints. 2. Legal questions. There were questions about the authority of the executive branch to implement such a program without congressional approval, particularly regarding the payment of salaries beyond the end of the fiscal year. The judge needed to assess whether this was within the administration's legal powers or if it violated established laws, because I guess he doesn't know that. Now, I ain't past the bar, but I know a little bit. Which is why in 2 seconds on Grok I learned that there is legal precedent in the, quote, Federal Workforce Restructuring Act of 1994 under Bill Clinton. 3. Public interest. O'Toole considered the public interest in maintaining stable government operations, and he considered it while overruling the elected executive in direct conflict with the public interest to destabilize government operations. 4. Due process and fairness. Federal employees were facing a deadline to make a significant decision about their careers based on what might be legally questionable promises. Again, O'Toole is just not sure. 5. Potential for coercion. There was concern that the terms of the buyout might coerce employees into taking a vaccine. Oops, I mean resigning under duress. Especially with the, quote, forever waive clause regarding legal action. What? Band 6. Need for further legal analysis. The complexity of the case required time for a more in-depth legal review. Judge George O'Toole Jr. was appointed by President George H.W. Bush in 1992, and his most notable case to date has been the trial of Dzhokhar Tsarnaev of the 2013 Boston Marathon bombing. Before the trial, Judge O'Toole ruled in favor of allowing Tsarnaev's family visits without the presence of an FBI agent, arguing it was necessary for the defense to understand the family's perspective, and from which you can infer that they're not gay. President Donald Trump responded to Judge O'Toole's injunction by pointing out that the buyout is, quote, very generous, emphasizing that it is intended to give federal workers the option to leave their possessions with financial support through September 30th. Trump expressed confidence that his administration would prevail in the legal challenges. Trump stated in a White House comment, quote, obviously will appeal. Despite the injunction, Trump reiterated his commitment to making the government, quote, better, more efficient, and smaller, coincidentally echoing an unrelated speech delivered earlier this year by Chinese President Xi Jinping to the International Micropenis Society in Bangkok. Trump Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the extension of the deadline was a win for the administration, allowing time for more federal workers to take advantage of what the administration considers a, quote, once-in-a-lifetime offer. Federal employees are now checking their car hoods for fishes and bedrooms for horse heads. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this content, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm John Ward, and until next time, remember, you're a world champion. Don't let your memes be dreams.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over.